Hello, I'm Karen Rawls, Social Investment Manager at Chevron. Welcome to the Chevron FAB STEM Fellowship podcast. Chevron is proud to support the Chevron FAB STEM Fellowship. This one-year discovery program is designed for outstanding educators to learn, create, promote innovative and inclusive programs that teach STEM using digital fabrication. Participants in the fellowship program receive a $10,000 stipend to travel to a Chevron Fab Lab and another worldwide lab of their choice. This initiative is part of Chevron's partnership with the Fab Foundation, which aims to foster innovation, inclusivity in STEM education, and community empowerment. Over the years, Chevron and the Fab Foundation have collaborated on numerous initiatives to bring cutting-edge STEM education to underserved communities. We provide resources, training, and support educators, students, and communities at large. So join me in celebrating the achievements of the past Chevron FAB STEM Fellows who have demonstrated excellence in education and innovations. These fellows have made significant contributions to their communities and inspired the next generation of innovators. To learn more about the Chevron FAB Fellowships, please visit the fabfoundation.org website.
Hello everyone, my name is Julie Sundar, and I want to thank Chevron for giving me this opportunity to be here in Palermo, Italy, as one of the selected amongst the four for the Chevron FAB STEM Fellowship 2024. The fellowship is a one-year scholarship where four educators have been selected, and we can choose two labs, one inside the United States and one outside. I've decided to choose Palermo, Italy, because after getting acquainted with the lab, which I've seen online, I was intrigued by how they approach bringing STEM education to the schools here in Palermo, which aligned with what I was doing at the Internet of Things lab in Palermo, Suriname. I am sitting here now with Pierangelo and Vincent. And I definitely have to say I've been welcomed very well. And the work that they were doing in the school is very extraordinary. And I just want to hand it over to Pierangelo so he can introduce himself and we can kick off this podcast.
Hi, Julie. Thank you, Julie. And hi, everyone. I am Pierangelo Di Benedetto from Fab Lab Palermo. First of all, I want to join Julie for giving my thanks to Chevron and Fab Lab Foundation for this amazing opportunity to share our experiences. I introduce quickly myself. I am a mechanical engineer and I'm a part of the core team of Fab Lab Palermo. Over the years, we have worked on many projects, but my main focus has always been on digital fabrication and STEM education. STEM education, which is exactly what we are doing, what we are here to talk about today. So I give again the word to Julie to say us why is here for the STEM education lesson.
Yes, so if I didn't mention it before, I am from the Internet of Things lab in Paramaribo, Suriname. And in our lab, we focus on a very wide range of programs. So catering for students from the age to women all the way to 50. I graduated Fab Academy in 2018, so we've been running a replica of Fab Academy for women, 80% women, 20% boys. And we've derived younger training programs as well to cater for students of different age and students of different skill levels. Now, I am here because I really wanted to learn about what is the mentality and the strategy to approach kids that are struggling with also reading. Because recently, I've started a community lab at the side of my house to cater for the community kids, which I found out cannot read. So I realized by teaching on a high level, I will not be able to reach these students. So when I heard about Fab Lab Palermo, I was really intrigued to learn about how do they bring their STEM education to the students in the school, how do they bring this curriculum, and how are they able to break the curriculum down to make it easily relatable to these students. So once I got here, I spoke to Pierangelo, Vincent, and Marcela, And I realized that for students that cannot read and write, a better approach is possibly teaching them code using drag and drop coding. We've worked very hard to create a curriculum that would make it easy for these students. And I'll elaborate a bit more about what we actually came about with and how we're going to bring this to those students back home. Pierangelo, maybe you can explain to them a bit about how you approach this in the schools, and then I'll explain a bit.
Yeah, I've been involved in education and skill development since the very beginning of Fab Lab Palermo journey, which started back in 2003. The lab was founded by Marcella and Michele Pizzuto, and from the start they were working with schools from the beginning and get students involved. I joined them 1 year after, like in 2004. So it's been more than 10 years now. At first, we focused on formal education programs in schools, but we also began developing informal education projects. Now we today it's a full-time activity with working with schools. And for at least 4 of us on our team, and we also bring in other members for part-time for specific projects. We have had the privilege of collaborating with some major national and international organizations. For instance, we have worked with CNR, that is Italy's National Research Council, or Save the Children, for example, and many other local organizations, municipalities, and schools. Right now, we are part of few exciting programs. For example, Erasmus Plus program. This is an initiative founded by the European Commission. We are doing a project. It's called Our Digital Village within this program, the Erasmus Plus program. And we are involved in another big program that is the PNRR program, founded by the Italian government to support public schools. Thanks to this program, schools can now afford external trainers or additional time for internal teachers to run extra courses. And all this program is mainly focused on STEM topics. So every day, 3 or 4 of us from our team, we go teaching in schools. These courses are typically organized in 20 or 30 hours modules. Sometimes we just focus on one topic, for example, 30 hours of 3D printing or 30 hours of the 3D modeling or coding and so on. In some case, the schools ask me or ask us to split these hours in 3 different topics. For example, I can do 10 hours of 3D modeling, 10 hours of coding, 10 hours of robotics. And our main goal is to get students excited about these activities. And we usually start from the basics. For example, creating a simple nameplate when we first introduce 3D modeling. We work with students of all ages, from kindergarten to high school, and I always like to emphasize that I think the most important outcome is working on computational thinking. For me, this is the main point that you can apply when you create a 3D model, when you program a robot, or when you solve any complex problem. So I would like to ask you, to Julie, what is in our experience, what she think is the main point that she wants to bring back to her experience, to her projects.
Yeah, so once I got here to Palermo and I learned about how Pierangelo and Marciela and Vincent approach bringing STEM and STEAM education to the schools, I aligned it with what we're doing back in Paramaribo Suriname. There's quite some differences. I learned that in Suriname, we actually work as a nonprofit private organization where the students actually come to us and we would provide them with the like facilitating them and providing them with the resources to do the training program. And after they've completed, they can go to the different training program. And after they're done, they can go into our tech starter program to maybe start their own companies. We constantly have to do this approach and constantly have to find the funding to keep on doing these training programs. But the difference with it here is they are supported by the government where they get funded, so they don't have to worry too much about having to find the funds to be able to educate these students in their country, which is very, very important. One of our main goals in Suriname is to develop the ICT and digital fab community. And getting support from not just the community but the government makes a big help because you can therefore impact a lot more students. It is a wish and a dream for us to have that as well, but even though we have our differences, we do have similarities. And I can take back from this approach in the sense that, as I mentioned earlier, when we were developing the curriculum to cater for students in our community that are underprivileged, we can take the approach by making coding simpler for students. Mr. Boomsma and I are both software architects, and we are dead hard coders with code, text coding. But I learned from Pierangelo that, hey, if you want to reach kids that are, maybe not as focused and want to develop your community faster, maybe an approach is do teach them the electronics and 3D design, etc. But make the coding easy by using tools like maybe the microbit or drag and drop coding that makes it easier for them to just slide in the code and see the magic happen. So I'm really enjoying this experience. Sometimes you need another perspective to help you execute your goal. So we've worked together to develop this simple curriculum for these kids in my community. We've currently started this alumni community club where students of different age and different underprivileged communities can come and easily learn how to code, grow their own food, and build automation systems to monitor their garden. So this has been quite an experience. Now I just want to hand it back over to Pierangelo so he can share a bit more about his lab and his experience in the field.
Yeah, I would like to mention what I think is the strong point that I've seen in Julie's experience, because honestly, I think that your work is incredible. And you showed us a presentation about your work. And it's clear how much you have accomplished with your project and events. But what has really struck me is the happiness on the student faces in the photos that you showed us. And there you can see how much fun they're having while learning and challenging themselves to create something. To me, this is a huge success. About your work, what you have shown us, your experience, I think that I'd love to adopt more often here is involving students in hackathons, or even better, the Acomation, the 3 month long version of hackathons that you mentioned, because it's something that we would like to do. We have never done, but I think it's something very interesting for them, because they are challenged to create something. It's a fantastic way to immerse students in a project and push their creativity to the next level. So I will definitely encourage my team to explore this type of activity like hackathon or accommodation in the future. Okay.
Perfect. So I can elaborate a little bit more about the hackathon and hackomation. The hackathon and hackomation is actually the baby project from Mr. Theo Boomsma, who is the owner and the other manager and other Fab graduate of the Internet of Things lab back home in Paramaribo, Suriname. Now, Mr. Boomsma started the hackathons under IT Core, but the hackamation was actually under IoT Lab. The hackathon is a 24-hour software competition where students from university or just students who would like to compete would develop a software solution based on a theme, and at the end, they could win a prize. Now, the hackamation is a 3 to 4 month competition where over 100 students usually participate, and they have to build an Internet of Things solution using hardware and software. From the last hackamation, the theme was AI, so the students had to use AI tools and also integrate AI in their solutions. So for example, they would make detection systems that would detect objects, and based on whatever is detected, they will do a certain action. And the centralized controller that we were using was the ESP32. Now, after these students compete these competitions, they would win a prize, and sometimes they would get scores for that course in their curriculum. So it would benefit everyone. Yeah, so I give credit to Mr. Boomsma for that, and I have to say to Pierangelo, if he ever needs help with finding that out, we're definitely willing to share and share our knowledge and make it happen. So I'm gonna close off with my final greetings to thank Chevron and the FAB Foundation for making this wonderful opportunity happen for me. I was quite honored to have been selected because I really didn't know I would be selected among all of these very educated, awesome educators around the world. I definitely have to say that I've extracted the maximum from this experience, and also the one in Tampa. And I'm excited to share back home with everything that I've learned and continue on my journey bringing STEM, digital fab, and STEAM education to our community. I want to thank Pierangelo, Vincent, Marciela, and their team for having me. And shout out to everyone in Suriname. Thank you.
Yes, Julie, I just want to thank you again as well, and big thanks to Chevron and the FAB Foundation as well. These experiences are so valuable because they remind us that we are all part of this big global network, which is very important. Sharing knowledge and experiences like this help us all grow. So thank you and goodbye, everyone.
The Chevron FAB STEM Fellowship is a one-year discovery program for outstanding educators to learn about, create, and promote innovative and inclusive programs that teach STEM using digital fabrication and engage new and underrepresented student populations in STEM education and careers. The program is inspired by Chevron's social investment strategy and the global Fab Lab network, both of which foster innovation, learning, and invention. Fab Labs, with their suite of digital fabrication tools and prototyping machines, including laser cutters, 3D printers, vinyl cutters, and milling machines, are inspiring young people across the world to learn about science, technology, engineering, and math STEM. These are safe and accessible places to play, create, learn, mentor, and invent. The fellowship awards a stipend of $10,000 to each selected educator to use toward creating and disseminating new, inclusive practices in STEM education and hands-on impactful making. The fellows will visit a few Fab Labs of their choice anywhere in the world to learn, to reflect, to co-create new curriculum and disseminate new practices. Their work will be published in podcasts, online blogs, and through talks and presentations at conferences and educational events over the coming year. For more information about this podcast series and the Chevron FAB STEM Fellowship Program, please reach out to us at cvxfabstem@fabfoundation.org.